So, this is happening again. In March, Sonic will once again return to the South by Southwest convention, like the 2016 and 2017 conventions before it. 2016 was mostly uneventful, but 2017 gave us Flying Battery and Sonic Mania, and our first glimpse at actual gameplay of Sonic Forces, so it was pretty eventful. However, since South by Southwest will also hold a Sonic panel this year, what will we get out of this in terms of new announcements? We know we're getting one, it says it right there, but what are we getting? Unlike last year, nothing was announced before the panel, aside from the upcoming feature film, but we already knew about that since 2014. However, the fanbase has been speculating and predicting things about the upcoming panel. New games, spin-offs, and movie-related stuff and more have been brought up as possibilities. In this video, I'm going to list off some of the things fans have brought up about the Hedgehog's return to South by Southwest, and tell you how likely and or unlikely they are. Let's go! This one in particular gets brought up a lot. Quite a few fans are predicting that Christian Whitehead, Pagoda West Games, and Headcan are teaming up once again to produce a sequel to Sonic Mania for release in 2018 or 2019. This would make some sense as Sonic Mania did very well in both reviews and sales, and a sequel would be a pretty good idea. However, there is some evidence that may be against the game actually happening, or at least, if it is happening, not being announced at South by Southwest 2018. For one, Headcan would likely not be part of the project, as some screenshots on his Twitter show him working on his own project. Not to mention, the game would not have been in development long enough to have anything shown at the convention, so even if it is happening, I'd say anything relating to this hypothetical Sonic Mania 2 at South by Southwest is very unlikely. With some core developers of the original project working on other games, and an impossible amount of hypothetical work having to be done for a single thing to be shown at South by Southwest, don't get your hopes up for Sonic Mania 2 at all. It's probably not happening, period, and it would not be possible to show it at South by Southwest, even if it was happening, because it hasn't been long enough since Mania 1 released. Now this is a really interesting one. Instead of this rumor coming from the fanbase speculating about things, it actually came about from internal developer slides leaked by a Resetera user and two different toy companies. Back in January, Resetera user Dr. Carroll made a post explaining that they stumbled across a SlideShare link containing internal developer slides from Sumo Digital, a studio known for working on high-profile titles including Little Big Planet 3 and both Sonic and All-Stars racing games. One of the more interesting slides talks about games that are currently in development at the studio. Two of these games are new first-person shooter titles, and one is described as an unannounced car racing game, which is supposedly in original development and involves an established global IP. This already caused fans to suspect a new Sonic racing game was in development, mostly due to the established global IP part. Rumors heated up even more after a rep from Diamond Select Toys said that they are making a figure line of Sonic characters where you could build a racetrack and have the characters race around on it, while showing their new Sonic PVC figures at the New York Toy Fair in February. Granted, it could just be Sonic characters running around on the racetrack, not related to any vehicle or game whatsoever, but the slides leaking this potential new racing game, and the Diamond Select rep speaking about this, were within weeks of each other, so it's quite safe to say that they could be related. However, the Sonic community manager sent out a tweet, saying that a new All-Stars Racing Transform title wasn't happening. While some called it a day and stopped speculating and or getting excited, a different toy maker, Zappies, put up the older Transform merchandise up at a toy fair in Nuremberg, Germany, which I probably pronounced wrong. When they were questioned by German Sonic fan site spin-de why they were there in the first place, they said that a new Sonic racing game was in development, set for a 2018 release, and the Transform merchandise was a placeholder for the products they were currently producing for the unannounced title. Granted, someone actually working for SEGA is probably more trustworthy than a couple of toy companies, but the conflicting reports caused some people to look deeper into this. Some noted that Aaron Weber said that a new Sonic racing game with SEGA characters wasn't happening, but never said that a new Sonic racing game in general wasn't happening. leading to some to speculate that Sumo Digital is currently working on a new racing game with only Sonic characters. Granted, we could all be entirely wrong and no new Sonic racing game is happening, but there's quite a lot of evidence pointing towards this happening, and the most likely window for the game being announced would be the upcoming South by Southwest panel. With everything I've said here, I'd say a new Sonic racing game is quite possible. Again, we could all be completely wrong and no new racing game involving Sonic in any capacity is happening anytime soon, but there's some pretty convincing evidence pointing towards its existence, and I wouldn't be surprised if the game gets announced at South by Southwest this year. Okay, hear me out. I'm not saying a new Sonic team developed 3D title is absolutely, positively happening for sure, but what I am saying is not to shoot it down as an impossibility just quite yet. For one, short windows in between Sonic game releases have happened before, with Sonic Colors and Sonic Generations being a pretty notable example. As I stated in previous videos, Sonic Team is actually made up of multiple smaller teams. Team A develops bigger titles and Team B develops smaller titles. Sonic Colors came out in 2010, but Generations came out the following year. Supposedly both games' development started in 2008, hot off the heels of Sonic Unleashed. It's obvious that Team A and Team B worked on different games. Team B worked on Sonic Colors, which players could probably see by the fact that the game's level design and overall game structure was more simple than previous games and even a few later games. Team A seems to be behind Generations, with its more robust level design and concepts. Sonic Forces design seems to fall more into the simply designed category, with stages that are linear and quite simple in design and are short in length. It seems that Sonic Forces was developed in Team B as opposed to Team A. There is a small amount of evidence to suggest Team A will be making a new 3D Sonic title, albeit a really small amount of evidence. Let's go all the way back to June 2017, in the Happy Birthday Sonic video posted to the series' official YouTube channel to commemorate the series' 26th anniversary. In the video, a whiteboard can be seen in the background for a few seconds containing some pretty interesting stuff, including some jokey stuff like the and Knuckles meme being referenced, and his crude drawing of Sonic. However, the most interesting part of the entire thing is the writing that says FY18 Project SXSW. This is an obvious tease for something Sonic-related in the future, and my gut instinct tells me it could be another 3D game developed by Team A, which was being made concurrently with Sonic Forces, like Generations and Colors before it. They're also slightly hyping up the reveal at South by Southwest, as they did with Forces' gameplay reveal in July 2016. Specifically, this image, which has Morse code once again written into the background. Fans translated this Morse code and it says South by Southwest. Granted, this could just be them hyping up the panel, but they didn't do the same for 2017's panel for the most part, which was a pretty big deal, as it had to reveal a flying battery for Sonic Mania and our first actual look at Sonic Forces. Could they be revealing something even bigger at 2018's South by Southwest panel? And could it be a new Sonic Team developed 3D game? It's possible. I wouldn't say it's likely or unlikely, but it's possible. Hopefully, if they are making a new 3D Sonic game, pre-release discussion is less of a dumpster fire this time around. Boy, do I have some stories here, though. Finally, we end with what could be one of the biggest things this franchise has ever done. In 2019, there will be a feature film, which is a live-action animation hybrid being produced at Paramount Pictures. The film was greenlit in 2014 and was originally being produced at Sony Pictures before being handed over to Paramount. It's being directed by Jeff Fowler, whose only director credit was Go for Broke, an animated short released in 2004. Among other notable crew members is Tim Miller of Deadpool fame. This is kind of a big deal. The closest we ever had to a full-on Sonic movie is the OVA, released in Japan in 1996, everywhere else in 1999. This would be the first time the series would delve into movies for a whopping 20 to 23 years. That is a really long time. However, I'm really not too sold on this movie. Mostly it's the whole live-action animation hybrid thing that's got me worried. Most movies that had it weren't very well received by critics or audiences, so there's not much to suggest that the Sonic movie wouldn't turn out the same at this point, although we really don't know much about it. Not to mention, Sonic paired with realistic humans has happened before in Sonic 06, and it looked immensely uncanny there, even with the game's very dated models. Sonic with live-action footage would look even more uncanny than Sonic 06. Hopefully, the movie script and plot are both well ready. Some fans expect either a logo reveal, poster reveal, or a trailer at South by Southwest this year. However, the movie is so seemingly early in production and so far away that I wouldn't really expect much of anything. Seeing a logo and maybe a poster is possible, but this movie is more than a year and a half off, so a trailer is just straight up implausible at this point. Don't get your hopes up for much regarding the Sonic movie. So that was my video about the upcoming South by Southwest 2018 Sonic panel. I'd say a new racing game is the most likely reveal, with just the sheer amount of evidence pointing to its existence. What do you think? Tell me in the comments below. And if you enjoyed the video, consider leaving a like and maybe even subscribing to get notified of future uploads on this channel. This has been Bluebird98, signing off. Goodbye!